At the moment, I know sort of David King from Fox Footy has been big in the past couple of years about Gawn being that interceptor and always tending to drop back.
Yep.
But we've seen him drop forward a lot more at the start of this game. That's a really promising sign.
Yeah, I think that's a big focus for Max. His defensive running has always been outstanding. He reads the ball as well as anyone in the air. But yeah, if you can push forward and really help out those tools, obviously, if Wiedemann and Brown are out at the start of the year, McDonald and Jackson are going to need some assistance.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's a good sign for the Demons. And Tom McDonald's taken some big contested marks, really straightens this side up. We know what he's capable of, 50-plus goals in 2018. Beautiful kick of the ball. Let's hope with a bit of confidence he can have a big year because he's in great shape.
So, looks like it's looking at the defensive end of the ground for the D's. Revolt's being manned up by Tomlinson at the moment and Mays on Tom Lynch, the two former Suns co-captains. So, 7-point lead here as we get the third quarter underway. Gawn down to Oliver. Lovely centre bounce clearance there. Looking for Salem streaming off half-back. Found Petrarca. Thought about Salem for the 1-2, but none forthcoming. Gawn's run forward again on cue. He's got to push in the back. So there's that forward running that you were just talking about, Benny, that Gawn has been able to push forward and earn himself a free kick. He's basically directly in front. He'll have about 45 metres to cover. Yeah,
Ralph Smith just falls into his back there. He's a big target up forward for the D's and he'll be hoping to put through his second.
How's he going the set shot from about 50 metres out?
He's hit and miss. I don't think he'd mind me saying that. Rivers, see, lurking there from behind. Rivers is a beautiful kick and they don't mind putting it in his hands.
55 metres out. Good strike. Oh, Big Max. How about that? And even the practice game, the players get around him. And rightly so as well. That was a great strike from the captain. He's got 2 goals and that's yes, it's a practice game, but that's a team lifter.
We saw Max Gawn kick one in a little intra-club the other week after the siren from 45 on the boundary, and everyone was almost laughing it was that good a kick. So he can certainly give this side a spark, that's for sure.
So that's a beautiful set shot there from Max Gawn. He can just, as he just said, Ralph Smith was able to giving away a free kick there, and from 55 metres out, we were talking to Kane Lambert before, and he did say the breeze has picked up slightly. It might be going slightly to the left of screen, as it always does. So that's brought the margin back to 1 point.
Gawny back into the centre of the ground up against big Toby Nankervis. Palms it down to Harms. We touched on Harms. He's going to be really hungry to get some of the ball, but Dustin Martin comes away with it. He's got Rewalt on the lead. Not 15, says the umpire. Rewalt wheels around onto the left to the top of the square, but Max Gawn again getting back, chopping it off. He's doing everything at the moment.
How good from Gawn. He goes in towards the middle. Petrarca wasn't paid the mark, was touched off hands. He goes to Baker. Had a very good first half, Oscar Baker. Trying to cement his spot in this side.
Yeah, we're looking for a big year, Baker. Needed a big off-season because he's trying to play that wing role. Learning a bit from Ed Langdon in terms of work rate, as he puts that down the line to those 2 key forwards we spoke of earlier. And look at Jackson at ground level. He's certainly nimble, gets that handball up. But Graham comes through the other way for the Tigers. Handball inboard to Edwards. Salem grabs him, but doesn't quite bury him in the tackle. Max Gawn does just that on Trent Cotchin. He gets the handball to Baker. Harms in over the top. And the umpire says too high. So Liam Baker takes it for the Tigers and spreads it to Grimes.
3-time premiership defender up towards half-forward again. Lever just right place, right time. Very promising game so far from him. McDonald v Bolter. Bolter in front. McDonald trying to claim it, but Bolter clearly had hands first and then was illegally tackled, according to the umpire. So Bolter not too happy with the call, but McDonald will be the recipient. A lot of players inside 50. Chandler's there. Came out to meet it. Really good attack there from Chandler, then caught a high tackle from Caddy.
Good contest for a little man. He certainly doesn't take a backward step. In hard, good follow-up, wins the free kick, and will send the D's into attack once again. It's a 1-point game here in the early stages of the third quarter.
Chandler, good kick for Fritsch. So promising signs from Cade Chandler. As Benny mentioned, kicked the goal in the previous quarter, and then attacked it hard, and a well-weighted kick because there are a lot of yellow and black jumpers, or more black and yellow predominantly today, considering the strip that the Tigers are wearing. But Fritsch now has an opportunity for goal. So he's a left footer, so wrong side for a left footer. I think it's naturally right to left here, so we'll see how this one pays out. Starts it right, brings it back, perfect execution. The D's have the lead.
He's a great kick of the footy, Bailey Fritsch, and a really good reader of the ball in the air. You see that mark on the lead. He just judged it perfectly, reads it better than anyone else. And look, he had a good year last year. You touched on he kicked the most goals for the Demons, but he does have another level to go to.
Yep.
And if he can get a bit of support from some key forwards, I think he's going to take potentially a third, fourth tall defender and get really dangerous, both in the air and at ground level.
And watching D's games, he always has seemed like he's had to shoulder a lot of responsibility up forward. And we have seen him at times move up into the wing and even receive the ball at half-back because he's got a great tank.
Yeah.
And he's able to rack up those marks and those uncontested possessions. But he's very dangerous around goal. And as we just seen, he's a beautiful kick for goal. So he gives the D's the lead by 5 points early stages of this third quarter. Yeah,
and he still just played the 61 games. He was a mature age recruit. So, a promising future for Bailey Fritsch as Neil Bullen comes into the centre bounce, tumbles over the top of Nankervis. The umpire's picked up a free. It is going the way of Neil Bullen.
Yeah, non-controlling umpire paying that one.
So he'll take it in the centre of the ground and launch the Demons into attack once again. The target's gone. Grimes flies short at ground level. He's caught. Fritsch comes in. Players piling in on top of that one. We'll have a stoppage 30 out from the Demons' goal. With a bit of push and shove there between Harms and Grimes. Two blokes that won't take a backward step.
So just Jackson streaming out of the stoppage here, allowing Gawn to do the forward 50 stoppage work. That's really interesting to see Gawn doing that. Yeah. As a kick from Neil Bullen, check side towards goal, Bolter drops back. But that's one thing that Gawn has always kind of allowed, whether it's been Wiedemann or McDonald or Jackson, of more recent times, to do the forward 50 stoppage work. At that stoppage, Jackson sprinted away and Gawn actually took that forward 50 here, that opportunity.
So Jackson just went and sat behind the ball just in front of Tom Lynch. So if that ball comes out by the Tigers, Melbourne have the numbers. And Gawn is so dangerous inside 50, so could be something to watch this season.
Like it.
Have a throw in on the far side of the ground. It's the D's by 6 points in the early stages of the third term.
Toss back in, and Curvis brought it towards before the ball. Jackson looking for the quick handoff. Good below his knees. Paddling it towards his fellow 2020 draftee in West Australian in Rivers. And gets it back, Jackson on the left. McDonald from behind, brought it to ground. Spargo was looking for the crumb and he got it in the second bite. Lightning speed hands, got it to Salem. His kick was smothered off the boot. Still inside 50. It's a bit crass from Chandler, but he wasn't penalised according to the umpire. It'll be balled up.
Came in hard. Floston didn't like it.
Yeah.
There's a bit in this at the moment. Good to see.
Whoa, and they're going down behind play.
Yeah, Fritsch and Floston behind the ball.
Vlosto not happy with that treatment from Chandler. In the meantime, ball comes to ground. Neil Bullen, pretty good around goal normally. He snaps and he misses. But he's a midfielder, a player that certainly knows where the goals are.
Yeah, he probably hasn't been able to really cement himself in this side. He's played the 80 games and he's a real leader among the group. But he'll be looking for a big year. He's a high-pressure player, an elite runner, always leading the time trials for the D's. As Rivers fists that one over the line. He looks a little bit sore. Gets up slowly, but he'll stay out there. So it's the D's by 7 points.
He's an exciting prospect, Trent Rivers. Played the 9 games last year, so technically still eligible for the Rising Star. As is Luke Jackson as well, who's doing the ruck contest here against Nankervis. Beautifully crumbed again by Edwards. How about that handball? The vision was superb to Ross, then to Graham, to Dustin Martin. But don't argue on Petrarca if you don't mind. Inside 50 go the Tigers. Bolton dropped it. Then Tomlinson. May just gets away from Rewalt, gets the handball off. Tomlinson, Spargo. Takes the mark and breathe a sigh of relief for the D's because the Tigers were coming there.
Yeah, they look dangerous when they push forward in numbers. Oliver and Martin collide there. The umpire says play on. Langdon links up with Chandler. Over the top to Jones. Langdon keeps on running as he always does. Always moving, Ed Langdon, as bodies pile on and the ball goes out of bounds.
As we mentioned for the D's, Ed Langdon, 4th in the best and fairest last year. That was a big trade acquisition just over 12 months ago, but it paid dividends early stages. He made a huge impact in his first year at Melbourne.
Yeah, great pick up from the Dockers. Probably only thing that needs to improve on would be that ball use, but he's a great runner and a really important player for the D's.
Hunt's kick, Hunt applied the smother rather, as Bolton handballed it forward. Castagna tried to keep it moving and was clever enough to
draws the free
that.
kick.
Yeah, and was held as Salem tried to apply the defensive pressure. So Castagna thumps it. Revolt and Arts are there. Revolt in front, had his name written all over that.
Read it best. Marks in front of Lever.
So Chol is deep. Revolt might fancy his chances here, and he is a thumping kick from the set shot. Jack Revolt closing in on that 700 goal milestone. Kick from about 55 where he's feigned it and he's gone the pass instead. Chol in front, but Oliver doing the intercept marking there for the D's.
Yeah, I know there'll be a lot of people watching for Supercoach purposes today, this live stream. Clayton Oliver's won. That a few people were concerned about with a little bit of a shoulder operation in the off-season, but he hasn't missed a beat. So I think a tick for Supercoach fans there at 656,000. Clayton Oliver is one to look at, as is this man, James Jordan, who is available for player sponsorship for the Demons. Visit melbourneexperiences.com.au and maybe throw a sponsorship in the way of James Jordan, because he has had a very promising start for the Demons.
Does he look a bit trimmer? Jordan?
He's fit, he covers plenty of ground, and he's a really good inside and outside player. So he can win the ball, but he can also get on the bike and help link the Ds up going forward. So, yeah, an exciting proposition.
Yeah, one of the couple of young Demons that have shown some promising signs today. Jackson got it down. Cochin, though, with the left foot kick out. Ds want deliberate. They're going to get it. Wow. So Cochin penalised. Clayton Oliver very quickly up with the hands out with the plea to the umpire. And Christian Petrarca will fancy himself here.
Yeah, always does, Christian Petrarca. Big appeal rewarded there. We saw a few appeals rewarded in the cricket overnight. Not sure if you kept an eye on India v England, but gee, that game didn't last long.
So he's lining up here for the snap. Right side for a right footer. Good view of this. Started too far out to the right, and in the end, sort of squeezes through for a minor score. But it's been all the D's in this quarter. 7-7 to 6-5. The Tigers haven't scored so far in this quarter.
All the attacking for the D's, but Floston will look to send Richmond down the line where Chol and Tomlinson contest on the wing. Baker looks to handball it straight into the head of Jaden Hunt. Tomlinson scraps. Ross gathers, puts it forward into the path of Art. Baker and Art heads over the ball. Chol slaps it out. Sparrow. He's got Hunt, injecting that speed as we spoke about earlier. The kick's a dangerous one. Salem, good mark, and he'll look to go. He's got Rivers. Sells some candy and wins a free kick. So caught high there by Cochin by the looks of it. And Rivers, he's certainly a penetrating kick of the footy. I've seen him actually launch one with the wind from the centre circle here at Casey Fields, straight through the stick. So he will put this deep inside 50 if he would like. He doesn't. He chooses to go to Salem. Another good kick off half back. Now he puts it up. Jackson with the run. He flies. Bolter with the spoil. Fritsch roves. Petrarca throws it onto the right. A quick snap. As clean as you like from Christian Petrarca. The D's have another. It's a 14-point game.
Couldn't get the snap done from the set shot opportunity, but so clean around goal, and he might look trimmer as well compared to last year after a breakout 2020 campaign that a lot of pundits and D's fans in particular were waiting for. Yeah. He
gives you a good look.
Shape.
He gives you a good look because he doesn't have his shirt on very often around the place. Christian Petrarca, but no, he always looking fit. He's trim, big personality, and a big game player. So
the D's this quarter have kicked 3 goals, 3. The Tigers are yet to score. We're halfway through this third quarter as well. Promising signs from Simon Goodwin's side, who just finished outside the 8 last year. A couple of costly losses to the Swans and Dockers. In the end, just ensuring they fell short of featuring in, not September, October it was in the end. Bolton with the clearance, so to Castagna. been lively across half forward for Richmond. Inside 50, he goes. Revolt dropping back. Had some very, very close and ultimately illegal attention from Hunt. And Revolt will have the set shot opportunity. Passed it off just before. But he will be going back and having a set shot here, you'd think.
Got himself in a good position there, Revolt. Not much Hunt could do about that one. Gives away the free kick, and a needed goal for the Tigers just to steady things here in the third term. We're halfway through this third quarter.
I'll be able to hear it slightly in your speakers at home. The wind coming through our effects mic here. It looks like it's just picked up a little bit more. It's sort of increasing as the morning's gone on. Really good look at Revolt's set shot opportunity here. And it's to the near side. So Richmond's first score of this quarter, 6-6-42, trailing Melbourne 8-7-55, exactly halfway through this third quarter at Casey Field. It's great to have you with us wherever you're watching along and seeing how these two teams going about their business with round one just weeks away.
Rivers a little bit of candy to run out of half back and launches it just from 150 to another. McDonald will contest. Jones at the front. He's wrapped up. It's a good tackle, but he gets the handball clear. Jordan in from one, out from the other. Gets it to Hunt, throws on the boot. That is a high up and under. Who's got their name on that? Tom McDonald tries. Baker with the spoil, Bolter with the roving. We usually see the opposite from those two men, but the handball does come clear to Caddy. Vlosten, he's corralled by Neil Bullen. And then Curvis, Caddy. And now Ross with a little bit of time just to take it easy and put it down the line. But Jake Lever there, once again, he's chopping off beautifully for the Demons, and I think the fans will love to see that from big Jake Lever.
He goes short to Neil Bullen. Too far out to score. Pretty open forward line. Petrarca screaming for it in the pocket. Fritsch leads to the other. Neil Bullen goes in the Petrarca direction. Petrarca leaps high. No free kick against Bolter for a push out. Nankervis at ground level. Goes out wide, hoping for a teammate in Arts. Good pressure there from Rivers. Allows Langdon to send it high towards goal. Don't tell me. Oh, I'm not sure if that was his intention. It really, you could see the wind really carry that one through for a minor score. But the D's making the most of this breeze, up by 14 points.
Yeah, that one got caught in the Casey breeze, and goalposts beginning to shake down there. So yeah, they might have a bit of an advantage here in the third term. As Vlosten brings the ball back into play and finds Bolter. A nice little pass. So he moves it to Broad. Oh, little kick. Not sure if that was the intended target, but Martin, who was spoken about early, has been really impressive for the Tigers. Had one of the biggest pre-seasons out of anyone in the yellow and black. And that's exactly what the Tigers fans want to see, some young players cracking their way into this 22.
And it was really good to get some insight from Kane Lambert in the second quarter about some of those young players. As Hunt handballs further forward. Chandler didn't go for it in the end. He left it for Jones, and 3 Tigers went towards him, and it's the turnover prevails here. Ross handballs it off to Edwards, chips it short. Castagna getting a lot of footy just outside the arc at the moment. Ross too far out to score. A lot of red and blue back deep inside 50. Big fist away from Main. The crumb from Edwards. The handball to Caddy. The snap towards goal, and the major from Josh Caddy. He has got a couple of goals for Richmond, and that's their first goal of this quarter. 1-1 for the quarter, and now it's back to an 8-point game. It's a nice little confidence booster for Josh Caddy.
A little steadier for the Tigers. They needed that one, but as we touched on, they might come home with the breeze here. So we've got a good game of footy at Casey Fields. 12 minutes to go in the third term. We're playing 4 30-minute quarters, and then we'll have Game B coming up after this, where some of the young boys will get the chance to strut their stuff on Casey Fields in 3 30-minute thirds.
So this is the goal kickers so far. 2 to Caddy's, the first multiple goal scorer of the game, and 1 to Castagna, Arts, Bolton, Edwards and Lynch for Richmond. And for the D's, 2 each for Fritsch and Gawn, and 1 to Petrarca, Chandler, James Jordan and Nathan Jones. The ball back in the middle with Melbourne holding an 8-point lead. 10 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Be Nankervis to go up against Jackson. The ruck decisively down from Nankervis, sharked though by Oliver. Streaming through the middle to Petrarca, to Oliver from 60 metres. Saw the open goal square and gets the good bounce and gets the goal. Perfect response from Clayton Oliver. Straight out of the textbook centre clearance style. And Melbourne had their 9th 98-62 is their score now, and Richmond trailing by 14 points, Benny G.
Not the cleanest hit from Clayton Oliver off the boot, but that doesn't matter. It goes through, and we are joined by Melbourne's list manager, Tim Lamb. Lammy, thanks for your time. What have you thought of the game so far? D's by 14 points.
It was a good timing to come on, Gibbo. So that was terrific play. Look, it's obviously a really tight contest, and it's great for our boys to come up against the benchmark that Richmond have set, obviously over the last 4 years. So it's it's really tight contest. Both teams have had some momentum, and terrific for our boys early in the year. Yeah,
as big a challenge as you could ask for, and a good hit out coming off a shorter pre-season.
So we've seen a couple of the younger Ds that haven't probably been exposed at senior level too much this year, particularly James Jordan and Kate Chandler.
Yeah.
Have had a lot of time today. Have you seen their performances so far?
Yeah, it's reward for effort for both those boys. You see a terrific tackle there by Jimmy Jordan. They both had outstanding pre-seasons and really earned their opportunities. Yep. Nothing being gifted to those boys. So I think James been really solid around the ball, and I think Cade, particularly from about halfway through the second quarter, has really come into it at half forward.
Tommy Sparrow's another one. He's played just the 7 games at AFL level. He's certainly talented on ball. I had that collarbone setback last year, which probably cost him a few matches, but are you expecting him to sort of take that next step this year?
Yeah, well, Tom's another one. It's a really good group. They're in their 3rd years now, yep. Of which JJ and Tommy's the one who's had the most exposure at AFL level. Again, they're terrific kids. They work really hard. Their ability to learn and take in information has been outstanding, and they've got their just rewards today.
Chandler's at the back here, Broad with the big defensive fist away. Will Martin to short off the left boot this time. Kick was looking for Arts, but he just ran out of real estate. So, as we mentioned, there's a few list spots available on at the Ds at the moment, and the SSP period ends, I think it's March 9, ends at the moment.
Yep.
What's sort of, it's sort of getting towards the deadline time. Sort of what's your thinking at the moment, and what do you want to see out of some of the train-on players?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's only one going to be playing today in Kobe.
Yep.
Sorry, 1 sec.
As Petrarca goes inside 50, Fritsch, Spargo. Good hands off, Neil Bullen. Underground hand pass to Sparrow. How about that? And at the back, a very easy goal for Chandler. He sends it straight into what would have been the top of the grandstand at the MCG, but it's the netting here at Casey Fields. He's got 2, and the Ds extend their lead to 20 points, which is a good start there for the Ds. But as I mentioned, it's March 9 is the SSP, and we're just going to see Kobe Farmer playing today.
Yeah, unfortunately, Deacon Smith just got a really minor, little bit sore in the hamstring, so he's not going to play. And Madge has only just come in to the program, so we're just getting his fitness base back up to it. So we've got 2 official spots, the ability for a 3rd with Marty Hall's injury, but we haven't made a decision on whether we're going to put Marty onto the inactive list yet. So I would think at this point in time we'll be holding a spot over for the mid-season draft.
Yep.
We haven't made a final decision on any of those boys, but you're certainly right. We're getting to the point where we have to.
Yeah.
We've got some ideas in our head, but I won't sort of go into them right now.
Yep.
But yeah, we're getting closer there. You're right.
Deacon Smith, an NGA talent. He's looking the goods. What can fans expect to see from him if he gets a chance?
Well, Deek has come in. He was training with us as part of our NGA program in January, and then being as a 19-year-old, we wanted to keep him on in February, and the AFL rules were that we could only have him 1 day a week unless we actually put him up onto our SSP list. And he's been terrific, Deke, playing across half-back, so he's really brave in the air. He's got terrific agility, takes the game forward, skillful. So he's doing a lot right, Deacon.
As the Tigers push forward, Rewalt marks in the square, and we'll get that quick response for the Tigers from point-blank range. So 6.5 minutes to go in the 3rd term. Rewalt puts it through and makes it a 14-point game. You see plenty of Luke Jackson. He's jumping up in the midfield. He can do a bit of everything. Is he one that you're, I guess, probably most excited about? He had a massive off-season. You can see by the size of his legs, he's put on some weight. He hasn't lost his running ability. No. He really could be anything, couldn't he?
Oh, look, he's a special talent, Luke. There's a reason why Jason and our recruiting team were so bullish and so confident in selecting Luke where we did it. Pick 3 in the draft. A lot of people are like, what are you doing picking a 200-centimetre kid there? But I think he's already shown that pick's been vindicated, and he's still a young player. He's still learning a lot, but he's his ability around the ball, his follow-up work, his tackling, his hands are, he's got a lot of work to do, but he's certainly showing some great signs.
Harm sends it inside 50. McDonald got a cool bounce, but there is Jackson. Just couldn't cook it up cleanly, but he always looks lively at ground level for a player of his size, as Grimes is wrapped up in a double demon tackle. 14-point lead here for Melbourne, 5.5 to play in this third quarter. Jackson will do the ruck work here against Nankervis. Try to paddle it towards Neil Bullen's advantage, looking for the free kick. Will Martin handballs it back to Asprey, to Arts, and he tries to clear. Gawn stands tall. We've seen some big contested marks from the captain today at both ends of the field. Now, he kicked one from 55 from directly in front at the start of this quarter. Surely he's not thinking another opportunity here. He's going to pop it towards the hot spot. Baker in the hole, as was Arts, who's pushed back to take the mark. From a list manager perspective, it's a funny year last year. You barely saw any live footy in Victorian.
Yeah.
You probably would have seen a lot of tape footy as well. You're looking forward to seeing, hopefully, a little bit more live action this year?
Yeah, that's been terrific, Ben. I've been lucky enough. We got permission off the AFL that we could have one person per club at these games. So I've been lucky enough to be at games the last couple of days. So, yeah, it's been nice to be back out there watching some live footy.
What from a NAB League perspective as well, because that's going to be good to have that competition back, a different look for the NAB League this season. What were you sort of expecting out of that?
Yeah, well, it is. You're right. It's a different look with some changes to the programs, and obviously the head coaches at all the NAB League clubs are responsible for the girls program as well. So it's great we're investing in the boys and the girls. They haven't had as much time with the boys to this stage of the year. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. There'll be a lot of boys who didn't play much footy last year. So we're really looking forward to that. Our guys have been out already, watching training, watching intra-clubs. So we're really excited about what the NAB League can produce this year.
And the raise in the age as well. We've got to see a few more 19-year-olds out this season. As Traka he fumbled it over the boundary line, but he received a free kick as well. So
that was a sensible decision given last year.
Yeah.
There's so many guys that are underexposed because we just didn't see them play. So we're fully supportive of what the AFL have done in that regard.
Edwards sticks his knee in the back of Jetta's head. He's getting up slowly as the Tigers push forward. Ross, he looks to pass it off. He's done just that.
He's done it to
Riewoldt.
He's done it to Riewoldt, and that's a kick that Jack Riewoldt would normally do. So the selfless centering kick.
Great vision.
Had to sort of check that it wasn't Riewoldt kicking it was Ross finding Riewoldt. He's going to go the snap here. He's one of the best exponents of the snap from a set shot opportunity in the league. Jack Riewoldt, 1 goal so far for him, and does it to perfection. So he's got 2, and the Tigers again with a response. Goal for goal past sort of the back end of this quarter as well. So the D's now in front by 8 points. There's a few interested onlookers to the right of screen as well that are looking on behind the fence, getting a little bit of a view.
Yeah, not satisfied by the live stream, so I thought they'd come and stand out here in the cold Casey conditions, but getting a bit of a taste of live footy on the other side of the fence. COVID-safe distancing, of course. As we see Bolter go into the ruck for the Tigers, so we spoke about him a little earlier, very versatile player, but you wouldn't mind hitting the ball down to Martin, Edwards and Cochin. It's a pretty dangerous midfield for the Tigers.
Just on the draft last year, Tim, in terms of where you got your picks, so Bailey Laurie picked 22, Jake Bowie picked 21, Fraser Rosman picked 19, number 19, but picked 34.
Yep.
What was sort of the strategy around getting all of those picks is sort of within a 14-pick time frame there?
Well, we did a lot of work during the trade period. Where we had an aim going in where we wanted to improve our draft hand.
Yep.
It was a deal we did late in the trade period with Brisbane, where we're able to use future first-round selection to gain 2 first-round picks this year.
Yep.
And that resulted in us selecting Bailey and Jake.
Yep.
We really wanted to add some more really good kicking decision makers into the squad, and we're really chuffed to be able to select Bailey and Jake. And then Fraser, he's a unique athlete, Fraser. Like, he's an unbelievable runner, He's still got a lot to learn with his footy, but his running power and his aerial stuff's been really impressive so far.
I think we're looking forward to seeing Bailey Laurie and Jake Bowie in particular, because there's that trying to fill that small forward position there at Melbourne. Hopefully those two can fill a need.
Yeah, obviously Cozzie's not playing today, who's another one in that role, and we've seen Cade Chandler and Charlie Spargo do some nice things. You'll see Jake play off half-back in the second game today.
Okay.
So he's been training in the back line, and he's been going really well. And Bailey more on that half-forward with some time in the middle as well. So, yeah, not just up front. We think Jake's got a future down in the back half for us.
Martin for the Tigers. He's got Lynch. Got 20 seconds to go here. One last chance. You would think McIntosh and Baker go up. Broad finds it, lowers the eyes, and Bolton on the lead with 10 seconds. He's going to go back and take the final shot of this third quarter. Has the chance to bring the Tigers within 2 points.
I reckon he was told as well, his Richmond teammates got in his ear just because he was looking to pass it off.
Yeah, handy having the countdown clock here on the Casey scoreboard. Not an easy kick. Probably from just inside 50. It's cut the margin to 2 points. That one's always out to the right. So just the one behind. It is three-quarter time here at Casey Fields. Tim Lamb, Melbourne List Manager, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, boys. Have a good day.
Thanks for the insight. With 7 points in this one. We'll be back right after this.